I never liked HOA politics, which is why I moved out to the wide open plains of Texas, away from the endless rules, regulations, and nosy neighbors who can't mind their business. My ranch sits on 45 acres of private land, surrounded by barbed wire, a couple of stubborn donkeys, and my best friend in the world, Boone, a 5-year-old Rhodesian Ridgeback with the heart of a lion and the loyalty of a brother. It was quiet living, just me, Boone, and the kind of sunrises that reminded me why I left the city. That peace didn't last. 3 months ago, the developers down the road built a fancy new housing subdivision called Coyote Crossing. Gated driveways, HOA board meetings, and little signs that said things like, "Your lawn is your reputation." You get the type. I didn't care until they decided to expand their boundaries, without my permission. I got my first warning letter in the mail 2 weeks later, from the HOA. Your fencing is not in compliance with Coyote Crossing visual standards. Livestock are not permitted within 500 yards of subdivision housing. Unleashed animals may pose a threat to community safety. I laughed and threw it in the fire pit. I wasn't part of their HOA. My ranch had been here since the 60s. The subdivision was new. They moved in, not me. But one person didn't take the hint. Margot Steele, the HOA president, retired lawyer, short silver hair always tucked under a visor. Her SUV had more stickers about bylaws than the courthouse. She started showing up at my gate, sometimes taking photos, sometimes yelling through the bars. Once she even climbed onto a rock to yell at me over the fence. "You can't let that beast run loose. It's a threat to homeowners." Boone was laying on the porch chewing a stick. I warned her, "Step foot on my land again, and I'll consider it trespassing." She smirked. "We'll see what the sheriff says." Then came last Thursday. It was around 7 p.m. I was in the barn oiling the hinges when I heard Boone barking. Loud, aggressive, defensive. Not the coyotes are too close bark. This was different. I grabbed my .308 lever-action rifle and bolted for the yard. That's when I saw her, Margot. She climbed over my fence, snapped a few strands of barbed wire in the process, and was in my yard with a collapsible baton in one hand and a can of pepper spray in the other. She was swinging at Boone. He was backing up, clearly confused and hurt. His leg was bleeding. She'd hit him hard. "Get away from him!" I roared, raising the rifle. She froze, eyes wide, like I was the criminal. "You're threatening a homeowner," she screamed. "You're trespassing on private land, assaulting my dog." "I was defending the neighborhood. That thing came too close to our walking trail." Boone had never left the property, ever. Margot took another step toward him. That's when I made a choice. I fired. "Now before you jump." I didn't shoot her fatally. The bullet struck the ground 2 inches from her foot, showering her in dirt and sending her straight to the ground, screaming. It was a warning shot. She dropped the baton, dropped the spray, started crying. I called the sheriff. When they arrived 12 minutes later, Boone was bandaged and resting. Margot was still sitting in the dirt, covered in her own entitlement. I handed the sheriff the footage from my trail cams. Every moment recorded, her climbing the fence, attacking Boone, refusing to leave even after being warned. She was arrested on the spot. Charges: felony trespassing, animal cruelty, property damage, brandishing a weapon on private land, civil harassment. And guess what? The sheriff, a longtime rancher himself, looked at Boone and gave him a pat. "Good dog," he said. Boone's wounds healed quickly. Tough old boy. The HOA tried to claim I overreacted, but public support was overwhelmingly in my favor. Even some Coyote Crossing residents reached out privately, saying Margot had gone too far too often. Margot, she's facing a $50,000 lawsuit for trespassing and vet bills. And as for the fence, I've reinforced it. Now there's a new sign hanging right above the gate. Private ranch. Trespassers will be warned, then fired upon. No more HOA games out here. City folks like Margot forget where they are sometimes, but not for long.